Welcome to Alley Chats. Today I have a really good friend of mine, which is such a treat for me. I have Rich Perez. Rich, thank you so much for being on Alley Chats.
Hey, thank you, Rob. The pleasure's all mine.
It is. No, I'm kidding. So, Rich, why don't you tell the audience about yourself? Give them some of your background.
So, a little bit about myself. So I'm kind of a closet, reserved, hidden away guy that is somewhat antisocial by nature, but I do have a hell of an imagination. I love science fiction. I love fantasy. I love horror, and I've been writing since I was about 8 years old. I also am heavily involved in the tech scene, so between creative writing and technical writing, these are my passions, and I guess it's, I'm the proverbial geek in both of those avenues. So I've channeled that energy, and 10 years ago, helped form a company called Tango Comics with a bunch of creative geniuses that I'm honored to be with, which I'm glad to say we are still here and standing.
Yeah, man, I'm a huge fan of Tango Comics. I love what you guys do. That's actually how we became friends. I alluded to the fact that we're actually friends, but I walked up to your booth. And you're local. We got talking, and then all of a sudden we're hanging out at the Blue Box, and we're playing D&D together and harassing each other, and it just kind of became a thing. But Tango Comics is just great. Your titles. Why don't you talk about your titles a little bit? And I know you have a project you're working on right now. I want you to address that a little bit so people understand what you're doing.
Yes, certainly. So we first started off with a science fiction horror title, a little mix of kind of G.I. Joe, James Bond, and Night of the Living Dead. And it was a product that we first released. It's our flagship title called Descent of the Dead. And part of the reason, the motivation I did that, because again, you're just kind of riding the wave of interest based on horror and zombies. And there was a resurgence at that time with George Romero and his films, which was great. There was a lot neat stuff coming out at the time. So it was like, while the iron was hot, I was getting pushed by several people. It's like, you've had this story in your head for 20 years. It's now or never. And so first things first, we got a screenplay. Nobody wanted it. But then the person who actually took interest in it and read it, saw it as an opportunity. He's like, this reads like a comic. Are you aware of that? I'm like, yeah, that was the intent. He's like, so make it a comic. And I'm like, I don't have an artist. He's like, well, use my brother. And there you go. And that's how we were able to established Descent of the Dead, and back in 2009, get that launched, and it was just so well received. It was just a shock and awe to us. And then we realized that, hey, we've got something going here. Let's expand on that. So we took that, and a year later released another story that I've been festering in my head about a cosmic superhero who wants more out of his life, and essentially gets more out of life. It's the ultimate wish fulfillment, only it's upside down, because now that he's got it, he doesn't want it anymore. So that was called The Infinium. So we released that back in 2010. And again, based on a lot of collaborative efforts, that was launched. And thankfully, I was able to recruit a longtime friend and artist by the name of Ronald Ung. And we were able to get that off the ground, and that was a huge success, and the reception for that was phenomenal, and it was great because, again, it's nice to see that, there's still strong interest in the traditional superhero.
Yeah, well, you say traditional superhero, but I've read the book. I'm going to say it's not exactly traditional.
True.
It is a superhero story, but it is 100% Tango Comics, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, our flair for Tango Comics is kind of borrowing upon the elements and give you a little bit of a nostalgia of the golden and silver, not the gold, but more of the bronze and silver age of comics. Because, again, that's where we kind of grew up on the medium, taking some of that element and bringing it forward with a little bit of twist of modern day storytelling. So that was, our premise behind all the stories that I've just mentioned with the two titles. So that is, that's our go forward strategy. A little nostalgia, a little nod to the geniuses of the past, but again, a go forward strategy with some new, fresh ideas going forward.
Well, and I also find Tango Comics to be strong storytelling. One thing that I found in indie comics, and I'm a huge indie comics guy, is very often you get one or the other. Incredible art with okay storytelling or incredible storytelling and, sketching like I did it.
Yeah.
Your stuff has beautiful artwork and it's exceptional, and the storytelling is top notch. So I know people are probably like, yeah, it's your friend, you're saying that, but no, it's true. That's why we became friends, is I was so attracted to what you were doing. It was so great. So and then you also have coming up, you have a project you're working on right now, right?
That is correct. So we finished both of those titles back. We kind of wrapped them up between 2016 and 2017. Doesn't seem that long ago, but geez, it's just taken forever. But yeah, we're actually building out a sequel right now to the Infinium that we're going to launch this summer. So we're gearing up for that, and we're really excited to, reintroduce the character because, again, the transformation, the storytelling has evolved significantly, and we're really, really excited to get that story off the ground because it's very, very different from what you read before. And the early reviews that we've had, it's like Empire Strikes Back in comparison to Star Wars. We're taking it to the next level.
Very cool. Yeah, I haven't read it yet, so I'm excited for this. So do you have, did you crowdfund this? Do you have any crowdfunding projects going currently?
So we are on the verge of launching a crowdfunding campaign through Indiegogo for the Infinium Book 2. We have just, as of yesterday, launched, and it's again available on our website and our social media sites where you can get signed up and receive notifications in preparation for the launch. But more so, we introduced a rewards program so that way if you jump on board and you're an early adopter and you become an evangelist and a super fan, you're going to accumulate points, and hey, you may get this stuff for free.
Very cool.
So we're really excited to get that off the ground. I wish I could claim credit for that, but I'm leveraging other brilliant marketing mindsets to do that because, again, I just want to go back and write.
Right. Well, two things out of that. Number one, make sure that when the crowdfunding does hit, your Indiegogo does go out, that you let me know. We'll put it on Alley Chat so that, like on our Facebook or on our blog, so that people can support it. And also put it on Geekin' Out, which is where we did support you in the past, which is another Facebook group that I run. The other point I want to make is in what you said, I'm a marketing guy. I'm a business guy. You said something really important there that I think other creators, because I know a lot of creators listen to the show, might want to take to heart, which is don't be afraid to ask professional marketing people.
Absolutely.
Go outside of yourself, because that's something that the reason I'm doing this, I got a master's in marketing because I was a content creator creating podcasts. And I went, I know to get to that next level, I have to be a marketer.
Yeah.
Not everybody needs to be a marketer. I needed to be. In your case, you don't need to be. You need to be a writer.
Absolutely.
So getting professionals involved with you is always a great idea.
You bet.
Okay, back to the questions. Rich, this is your dream con. Okay. Mm-hmm. Who are you most excited to meet?
Oh, goodness. From a DreamCon perspective, well, obviously there's a number of artists and writers. I would like, to meet as much of some of the Silver Age folks and some of the Bronze Age guys. So, for me, I'd like to meet, some of the wacky, eccentric writers such as, Alan Moore, Warren Ellis. These guys I would really, really love to meet. It sounds very British-centric, but again, that's a lot of the materials that I've read too. So I think, between them, Alan Davis, oh goodness, who else? Chris Claremont would be one person I'd love to meet. Roy Thomas, a guy, through the Silver Age of comics. I would love to pick his brain and really understand where he was going, because the diversity of work that he provided for the last, 3 decades was just incredible. And, he's like the closest tie to Stan Lee in my eyes, in terms of, the passing of the torch. So I'd really have an opportunity to meet with him. And, I could ramble about this all day, but
so you've got a laundry list you'd like to meet.
Oh yeah. There's a laundry list of writers and artists and, inkers, especially, if there was an opportunity, I'd love to meet, Sal Buscema, guys like that who are, again, made growing up, and reading comics so much fun. They helped make my childhood. So I'd like to give them a nod and show some appreciation with that.
So with all the cons that are canceling right now, what do you see as the best way to support people, other creators during this pandemic?
It's to keep the fire burning, regardless of whether you're in a pandemic or not. Writers are still hidden in a cave writing, same with artists, regardless of what the surrounding world is up, keep going and doing the work that you're doing, because sooner or later, the sun will rise and we'll be able to sprout our heads above the ground and, and showcase our work. So it's just to maintain support. Don't get overly caught up with the moment, and really just stay focused and steadfast on your goals and objectives. Again, the shows themselves, there's pretty much, it's a wash for 2020, but there's still hope. And what we're hoping for based on that, is that, with what shows remain, there's going to be support to be there and support those artists who are taking the risk of being out there. Granted, we all may be in chem suits, but still, let's go out there. Let's take, the cautious risks, the acceptable risks, if you will, and find out a way to, stay focused and support, our brothers in kind and sisters.
So do you do any projects like on Patreon or anything? Do you have ways people can support you that way?
Yeah, definitely. So we just got that off the ground from a Patreon perspective. So we have a Patreon page. We just stood it up not too long ago. And so the incentive with, again, joining up and, providing support via Patreon is, again, helping keep the hamster wheel spinning. And in addition to that, we're going to give you some unique bodies of work that you wouldn't normally get. So you'll be able to have an opportunity to see what's going on and evolving behind the curtain as we do it. And again, it's kind of cool because you get to see a lot of the deleted scenes and the materials that may or may not take shape as we go forward.
So I know you're a writer, but do you or does Tango take commissions?
The artists take commissions. Writers never can get a commission. But we have our bullpen of artists who are out there in the field, and yes, they do take commissions. So our new artist, Emilio Chiunti, he's actually based out of Mexico. Fantastic young artist, and oh man, I can't wait to showcase his work. So he's been doing some commissions in addition to cranking out the work for us for this next book. He's definitely there. Francis Penovic, Rage Ledbetter, of course. These guys, these are our all-stars who are there, and they'll give you whatever you want. They're great.
So if people go to your website, can they access them, and maybe that's how they could get commissions through that?
We typically aren't tailored for, from a website perspective to do that. But what I would suggest is either through our social media, hit us up, send us a message or a note, or, send us an email, to info@tangocomics.com. And tell us what you're looking for. And obviously we have a bullpen. We can probably, unless you have a preference, we can probably line something up by all means.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity to give some of your social media, Rich. Why don't you lay out there where people can, number one, like the website where people can check it out, but also what's your social media? Give some of your places people can find you.
Oh, absolutely. So, of course, there's the website at tangocomics.com. We're on Facebook, of course, at facebook.com/tangocomics. Twitter, .com/tangocomics. Instagram. We talked about Patreon as well. So these are all the avenues that I'm aware of that you can reach us. Oh, and of course, the one that I didn't mention, which ties back to the Indiegogo, that is the infinium.com. That's where you can go to sign up and get on our mailing list and reap the rewards of being, a super fan evangelist.
Excellent. And one last time, if they go to your website, they can order your books, correct?
That is correct. So we do have an online storefront at tangocomics.com. And I believe even at Facebook, it'll redirect you to our storefront page. In addition to that, you can go to Amazon. You can get Descent of the Dead as well as the Infinium compilations, the trade paperback and omnibus on Amazon. So that is widely available and globally dispersed. I'm trying to think if there's any other place. Of course, blurb.com as well.
That's really great, Rich. Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. I encourage everybody to check out Tango Comics, to check out their works, get on board with Descent of the Dead and with Infinium, and any projects they've got going. You got Warshiner under your umbrella, too, which is another one of my all-time favorite books.
Warshiner's a great book. Yeah,
it's just so good, and Rebecca does an amazing job with that. So please, check out Tango Comics, support him, and once that Indiegogo goes up, watch our Facebook page. We will put it up there so you can support Rich and the crew over at Tango.
Oh, can I put in one last plug?
Do it.
All right. So, as a result of the pandemic, we are giving away digitally all our comic titles. So whether it's Warshiner, Tango Comics Presents, Infinium, Descent of the Dead, all that stuff. While you're locked in, we've made them freely available on Drive-Thru Comics. So you can go to drivethru.com and download all that information digitally for free. And of course, we encourage you to get the prints as well through our storefront.
Yeah, awesome. That's it. Thank you so much, Rich. I really appreciate having you on, and I really hope that Infinium Part 2 is a huge success.
Thank you, Rob. We're crossing our fingers and our toes right now, hoping that we have a successful launch on that.
You can find Alley Chats on Facebook by searching for @AlleyChats. You can also visit us at our webpage, smgpods.com/AlleyChats, for links to all our episodes and other cool stuff. One easy way to support our show is to rate and review Alley Chats wherever you listen to your podcasts. Those ratings really help us out and help others find our show as well. Alley Chats is produced and edited by Rob Southgate for Southgate Media Group. Be sure to subscribe to Alley Chats because you definitely don't want to miss an episode. Thanks again to our affiliate sponsors, Hunt-A-Killer and Tweaked Audio. Links to them are on our webpage and in the show notes. This wouldn't be possible without them. Our theme song is by Benny and the No Goods. Check out their awesome music at bennyandthenogoods.bandcamp.com. If you're an artist or writer or creative type that would have a table at an artist alley and would like to be on Alley Chats, message us through the Facebook page or email us directly at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com and we'll set up an interview. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with another fantastic show.